Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I just bought a van. I think. So I went and just test drove this van. It's a conversion van. I've been looking for a while now, really. And everything's been so pricey, or the things that I could afford were like stupid, rusty, bottom falling out, whatever, bad. So recently, I saw this conversion van, and the price was like it was attractive. And I was talking to the guy who had put it up for his dad, and so we arranged to meet. And the thing that struck me first when I went to see the van was that the dad's name was Dave. Okay, so I was trying not to read too much into it, but if you know me, like that's how I roll. So Dave was my dad's name. He passed a year and a half ago. And I talked to him a lot, right? And I was like, all right, Dad, like, help me out, figure out if this is the van. And then when I show up and the guy's name is Dave, I'm like, what? That's crazy. Okay, so um test drive it, great, all right. And the price had been reduced and it was actually 1800. Now, there's definitely some rust. It's a 2001, you know. I didn't expect it to be perfect, but I wanted it to be safe and just something that would last me at least a couple years to go do some camping, have some fun. So, all that to say, I then I went at, I asked Dave. I said, "Can I take this to my mechanic? I would feel better just knowing stuff, right?" I did that today and everything was checking out. Yes, there's rust underneath, but it's solid. It's just an old Chevy. Not a lot of bells and whistles, right? Some buttons missing, some rust on the side, and but really just good bones. And that's what I was mainly concerned about. Well, so I'm driving the van, right? And he had said like the heat and air aren't working. I mean, we're talking, right? It needed some work, but it was in my price range. So when I was driving the air, I was like, this is totally spitting out air. Like, this is air conditioning, right? It's working. And the other thing is the temperature gauge. He had talked about the temperature gauge doing weird things. It's been fine. It's been fine every time that I've driven it. So I took it to the mechanic today. They did a thorough inspection of this van. And long story short, like, oh my God. Okay. So the work that I need to have done on it, it's going to run probably like $1,600. Which really, I mean, putting that all together with what I would pay for it wouldn't be bad anyway. But I thought if I can get this down even more, I'd like to do that because I am not made of money and I have a certain amount that I have been putting away, stocking away, pinching pennies, like saving every bit. And so after getting this report, I took it back to Dave. Dave is the goat, by the way. So I took it back to Dave and I was like, look, I'm not at 15 or I'm not at the 1800 anymore. Not with the amount of work that I need to have done. Um, but let me just think on this. And how about we touch base tomorrow? Hopefully you'll keep me in mind. Like if somebody else comes along, like I would really like to talk more about it. Dave's super cool. He's like, hey, no problem. I said, I'm really more around 1,000. I don't want to insult, but this is where I could be and be okay and still have some work done. Cool. So let it go. And I'm a very prayerful person. So all night I was like, all right, God, you know what? If this isn't supposed to happen, shut it down. Just shut it down and I'll move on. Um, if it's supposed to happen, how about Dave shoots me a text saying, all right, we'll do 1,000. And that will help me know. I got a text from Dave and it said, okay, if you still want the van, I'll do 1,000. I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. Okay. Well, then of course I'm freaking out a little bit. Like, should I really though? Like, I mean, I question, right? So my husband is awesome because I was talking it through with him and he was like, look, even if it lasts you a couple years and it's $1,000. And the mechanic guy was like, even in its current state, as long as I don't go more than 2 hours, I should be fine. And I do have to make sure I'm checking the oil and all that kind of stuff. But like, you guys, oh my God. So I just texted Dave and accepted, and guess we're gonna meet tomorrow or in the next couple days to do the transfer of the title and everything. And he's local to me, which is great because then it'll be easy, knocking on wood, but as far as transfer and all the things. And yeah. So welcome to my van journey. Holy cow, did I really just do this? All right, so I will keep you posted. Bring you along, and yeah, exciting adventures to come. And I'm gonna have to think of a name. She's blue. All right, I'm thinking. I'll have to drive her, see how it feels. All right, stay in tune. Stay, yeah, whatever. Just stay. All right, bye.